yeah, weak answer potentially for your question, but
No,
I don't want to give them
it's a
too
hard
much
one to
praise.
answer
Like,
when- yeah,
I'm just not convinced by them, so I don't want to like overhype them. You know, that's kind of the thing.
No, we don't have the information yet to know whether that first game was down to like a little bit of sleepiness or a bit of like a, a blunder from Cyber Goose, or whether actually like the they just can't play to the level that we want them to. Because that first game also should have been in the bag, but they had some stumbles, and Quantum were able to come back into it because Quantum are a good skilled team as well. So we'll have to keep watching. That's what these qualifiers are about. It's about watching. It's about learning these teams, learning the quality in which they can play to, trying to see the potential in them as well. Always really important, because you just never know with TI. You never know who's going to find the magic. All the tournaments throughout the year, usually we're just expecting the big five to take it, but TI, the more established the sort of top 3 teams are in the year, the more likely it is for just some random open qualifier team to just rock up through the tournament and say, hey, what's up? What's going on, guys? We're Team Spirit, or we're OG, and we're going to take the win today. So you're always looking for it. There's always that in the back of the mind, that 1 in 500 chance that one of these teams is on the start of a monumental journey, on the start of a monumental road, some might say. But let's get into the draft for game number 3. Shadow Shaman versus Kunkka. How are you feeling about this Kunkka pick coming out once again for the Cyber Goose?
Yeah, it worked wonders, right? Because in the last game, when you're seeing a Spectre as the enemy carry, you're like, wait a second, there is like negative pressure getting applied to me as a Kunkka, right? So you can take over the game. I think this time, Quantum will respect the fact that they need to find, like I said before, a bit more entry to the laning phase. So if it is a Kunkka in the safe lane, or flame, sorry, let's make sure that they have a position 5 and carry that can maybe threaten the Kunkka, have some kill potential, and be a good start. You don't want to allow him to just autopilot his way to Blade Mail Pipe with like pretty much 0 pressure on him.
Yeah, pretty much. You need to control up this guy and make sure he's not having an absolutely free time. But getting out of these lanes, it's there ways to answer Kunkka in lane. Like, it's only hero which absolutely just dominates him.
You can see from the ban, right, from Cyber Geeks, they're worried about the Omni Knight. Like a carry Omni running around, you have the kind of the debuff immunity, so you don't really care. So yeah, I rate that. But there's also like Lifestealer and carries like this where they just hold their ground. Sure, they might not kill the Kunkka, but you just kind of chill, you hit creeps, you eventually just outscale, you have Rage, you have Radiance, later on BKB, you just, there's nothing that can really be done. So a hero to at least consider on the side of Quantum. But the early pick Darkseer, it's kind of like they've banned Ursa, so they're protecting the Darkseer in that regard. They're not like forcing Cyber to say, hey, go pick Ursa, we've not banned it. So they've gone for like the best carry against Darkseer ban. But still, there's Sven available. There's some leader carries that we've been seeing rising up a little bit. Like, there's options.
There's always options. You need to get creative, especially when you've been beaten in the first game. You can't ban at everything. They're going to go for the same options again. You need to have a very strong idea on how to respond to this. But Quantum, I will say, I don't know if I want to put them in the stronger position, but it certainly feels easier to answer a team which just beat you, but then they're doing the same thing again. You get to sort of put into practice your ideas on what you did wrong in the last game. You get to, if you're a good team, then you should be able to definitely make big improvements from your last game. But still, only 2 heroes as of yet. They could still change things up a lot on the Cyber Goose team.
Wind Ranger at your service.
Okay. Yeah, the draft from Cyber Goose just it feels like it's providing stability where no pick makes a future pick volatile, where it's like, oh my, we have to fix this problem. Okay, tier 2000, you got to pick this specific hero to do this, right? I feel like when you lay down the foundation of like Kunkka SD plus whatever other position 4 support you want to go for, it does give freedoms for everyone else. And this 18 pick will potentially be devastating. There's Puck, which is available for Cyber Geese if they want it, against Darkseer, Ability, and Shaman for pick off it. Sure, Shaman is one of the counters to Puck because you have Hex, but you play with the good vision, you know where Shaman is, and you don't really mind. Storm Spirit that we just saw in the previous game. There's so many options to utilize to close out the phase, and now Quantum, they know that if they want to play out this game with skirmishing potential with the Darkseer, they do need explosive damage. Like with SD Disruption, the run buff that we saw utilized in game 2, they can't play a slow fight. They need to be, you know, killing it with the wall, killing with the jump from the Shaman. So that's what we'll see in the next 2 picks.
Yeah, getting on the backline is going to be really, really important. Storm obviously has been hotly contested in this series so far, 2 games out of 2.
Ooh, okay, Tiny. Are they going to keep the Tiny as a flex here between obviously support, mid to core? But also it could just be the position forward to play with the Darkseer. Like the default answer would have been you pick Tusk for Quantum, you have Tusk Darkseer lane, it's aggressive, you put Shaman 5, you run around the map, you find kills. Like it makes sense. But they don't go for it, they go for Tiny. So maybe they're trying to do something a little bit more creative by keeping the, like I said, the draft a bit more open. It would depend on this pick here. If they're flexing the Tiny between a support position or a core position. It is explosive damage at least. If it's a crit, even in carry, but behind carry it's locked behind items. Okay, so most likely.
But I think
mid. I feel.
Yeah, potentially. I think the flip side to what you're saying there is that if it is carry, then the lockdown, yeah, it's hidden behind items, but it's also applies to everybody, which I think is sometimes the issue with Conqueror, is that like you have this burst hero at like, you know, position 4 or mid or whatever, but you don't have enough to just like dump everything onto a Conqueror and take him out of the game. Like he's still going to get off his blade mail, or he's still going to get off his bow, he's still going to be able to cast his spells. But on carry you can eventually do that, which I think is what they're looking for from this pick. Maybe we'll see.
No, for sure. Again, like the mid Tiny is Blink Dagger with crash landing and you kill supports. Carry Tiny, like you said, it's farm 3-4 items, get Shadow Blade, play like Nightfall, where at any minute any core's dead, right? So it really depends. Does Quantum see a need to kill supports and break the early game, or do they want to potentially break the mid to late game with core kills? Depending on that read, the Tiny can shift between either role, hence why it is quite a fun flexible pick, because you know, it just, you put it in the role for the time that you want it to match, right? And for Cybergeese, they just go for the Ember. The lockdown from Quantum, it's limited, right? There's an Ice Path, there's an Avalanche, there's a Toss, there's a Hex, there's a Shackle, but to try and apply that on an Ember is already going to be somewhat difficult. Then there's going to be turnaround potential, like we already mentioned with the Kunk of the SD. So even if you do catch the Ember, are you killing the Ember? Mage Slayer, very potent this game to brush off the magic damage of every hero on Quantum. So yeah, strong Ember pick, strong way to stand your ground. And for Quantum, we didn't talk about the Chikira, but I kind of like it against SD, just for the fact that it's like, if you jump a hero, they get saved. Now you know, okay, Ice Path that disruption. Ice Path, or like Macropyre, I throw everything onto that disruption and you'll get the kill. So it's kind of like a cute little response to the SD, but they do have big Ember problems, and they're going to need to find a response to it. Of course, beating it in lane helps, but Quantum early banned the Monkey King in the first phase, and then Cybergeese just banned out the Husker. So the only other kind of counters to Ember available are the mid Death Prophet to pressure tower. Then you have like a Slardar just to try and play on the kind of the bash and the right click against melee heroes. They're kind of like the bigger 2 counters available.
Could be really interesting, and we have seen these teams get a bit creative in their picks as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it at all.
Is there any other mid that I'm missing that can stop the Ember from laning? I think maybe there's like the mid bat could be pretty cool. Like, yeah,
I'd definitely be down for that. Yeah, I like that idea.
There's DP, there's bat, I mean, there's plenty of like options. Of course, they're not as good as the Husker, the Monkey King, right? But still, as long as you delay the Ember from getting Mage Slayer and like dictating the tempo, I think they would be relatively happy and pick up the Pangolier. So it's going to be a carry Kunkka, offlane Pangolier, and mid Ember. Very skirmishy. This is
Oof, yeah, this is a brawling lineup.
Yeah.
Wanting to prove that they don't just need to go for, you know, some big hard carry and run around the map as 4 and make space for TA2000. No, they want to give TA2000 a chance to play a bit actively as well. Play multiple forms of Dota 2. It's exactly what you're going to need to do. Like, if you just lock in on the 4 protect 1 strategy early on, then you're never going to make it far in these qualifiers. So, doing what's best for the situation. Quantum, what is your pick?
That's a
10
big
seconds
jug
left.
of water. Oof. You see that?
The chug jug.
Oh, life stealer. So tiny
Light's
just
coming
mid.
out, so it is not the tiny carry. It will be Iconrad tiny mid.
Okay. I mean, I spoke about life stealer as a response to Kunkka like in the first start of the draft, but I kind of forgot about it and moved on to maybe they want to shut down the Ember, but they don't want to shut down the Ember. They're content with the trade of farm between Tiny Ember. Play for the fact that who gets the rune, who gets the jump. Like, it's more of a discipline game rather than a let's Monkey Kingdom out of the mid lane, right? Of course it was banned, but it's the hero I fought in the moment, but still.
And how many times have we seen it where a team's gone all in on countering an Ember, the Ember doesn't have a lane, he's really, really sad, and then like 2 fights, and he's so... I think the problem with Ember is that he's so easy to survive. Like, you just have like 3 kind of get out of jail free cards in Slight, in Spirits, in Flame Guard as well. So you're always able to kind of live through the fights and grab the XP and come back into the game. So I don't know what it is about Ember. He's just this hero which feels like really punishing to shut down because he just kind of comes back anyway. And then you're like, oh, well, that was a waste of time and waste of draft resources, etc. So they ignore it. They'll just prioritize their own game. However, it does leave them with this sort of tricore of like very melee, very kind of blow up dependent heroes. If they are not finding a core in the catch at the start of these fights, then I feel like this Lifestealer could just be juked into oblivion. Do you agree with that, or do you think he's got ways to play the fight?
I think he's going to be very happy and independent once he has items, because playing into a Pango, Kunkka, and Ember that never threaten him, right? Like, it is a free Lifestealer game. Kunkka doesn't buy Abyssal. You don't really buy items to stop him. So Lifestealer, as long as he gets into his kind of farm pattern, gets like the Radiance and maybe like a BKB, Basher himself, it does feel like Lifestealer will be, we have to kite him, kill his team, and then we'll deal with him at the very end of the fight, right? So I think it's good signs for Quantum, honestly, but the Tiny has to have a good lane to play with his Darkseer to break open the game. It's so much easier for the Geese to be able to group up and make big moves, right? It's like Darkseer, he needs to farm item, Lifestealer needs to farm item. There could be a world where Tiny just by himself, because Shaman and Jakiro, they don't make explosive damage, right? They kind of just set other people up. So there's this weird kind of disconnect between the Tiny and the rest of his team. I'm starting to look out for on Quantum.
Big smoke here once again, the same as game 1 from the Cyber East team, but doesn't look like they're finding anything a lot here. I mean, Lucas is going to reveal, but the smoke gets broken, he just runs. And that is the benefit of using smoke and splitting up across the map, is that if you're alone, your smoke is a great defensive ability early on in the game. The smoke pops and you just leave. You know there's heroes there. In the night time, very, very useful. So
that is the reason why everyone buys the smoke at the start of the game. It's not to find kill, it's just to understand the position.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing to mention here, by the way, do you know what the biggest predator of the Goose is in nature?
No. I was trying to think, but no.
You really
what
went.
is it?
Yeah, I was like, is he actually going to know this? It's a good thing you don't, because I'm making stuff up.
Is it mankind?
It is actually the snake. Therefore, very intelligently here on Quantum, Emptiness has gone for the Giga Snake, a massive serpent ward, which has recently been buffed as well. So that might be the answer they're looking for. We'll see what this gigantic serpent ward can do. I mean, do you like this facet?
It got a nice little buff, right? So I think it has
12 times
damage, right? Instead of 10, right? Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
So it really does hit towers as Shaman. Probably giving first blood, unless, they disconnect.
Unless they disconnect. Yeah. You always got to sprinkle that doubt in there when you're a caster, don't you? Just to make sure the curse doesn't somehow come true. But nah, he's a goner. That'll be your first blood. A little deep there on the Shaman. Not expecting TA2000 to be that active early on, but he's taking freebie when he can get him.
I think Solo wants redemption, right? Because the last time he did that disruption was on a Tusk where he died, right? Like, no. This disrupt at this camp is a death. I know it.
Yep.
Of course, Kunker is very, very aggressive compared to a Medusa.
Oh, another block. Solo is a block master. I think I catch it there, but he managed to catch out Emptiness again against the tree line. Solo is just, he's a blocking master. He's been practicing for many years.
I think I checked earlier. I think he's 34, which is kind of hype. If you're, a budding 28-year-old support player, there's at least another 6 years to make it.
Love a bit of relatability in the pro scene.
There it is.
Mid lane has been quiet as predicted, but quietly Chira Jr. is pulling ahead. Tiny can struggle with that very, very low attack speed. Do some damage, but the Ember just pulling ahead a little bit. Start off as Solo getting low up in the top side, but turns around with the disruption. He's got an Inseminate here available as well, and we'll use that onto Yayo as well. Tier 2000 has taken chunks, but unable to get any real kills here. And they have sort of lost like over half a wave here whilst doing this. So I'm unsure about the value of this, but then, they're actually triggering off the foul play. Emptiness will live, does get himself the Healing Lotus, and yeah, can't really come close to the wave anymore, so.
You also get level 4 to get that extra burst to heal from his innate, and it's the way that they're playing it is just trying to whittle down their resources.
Here they go though. Disruption out into the torrent. Tier 2000 trying to find an angle with the Tidebringer there, but awkwardly just kind of moves into the camps and gets sort of takes a ton of extra damage for his efforts.
You can see how toxic the combination is, right? It's just disrupt the guy, torrent them from a million miles away, and then Tidebringer from whatever creep you're near. Kunker wasn't really in position. And Solo, look at, as soon as it's off court, I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah,
press torrent, then connect. Oh, Darks is giving it the target.
Yeah, kind of giving him the angle there. And that allows them to get the kill, but they will get the return onto Solo. But I mean,
my guy just loaded up the scope and was like, hey, here's the shaman. I've just A-click and I got you.
Kill my support. I'm telling you, this is the same thing that happened last game where they just killed each other's supports like twice in a row. It's the same thing again. These guys have an agreement.
You know, if this was a pub, somehow the Darks is flaming the shaman, by the way. Like, you already know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shaman having to rotate mid. Just a little bit of that deterrent.
Yeah, like Current does just need a little bit of extra help in this mid lane. He's not having the best of times. I'm not sure this Shaman rotation is really going to make any difference to that.
No. He was just kind of there, but he goes mid. He then stacks the triangle, then back to top. So it's not as if the Darkseid got threatened in his absence. Well, Darkseid just picked up the Vanguard.
Really good problem with the crash landing Tiny is just how hard it is to land those tosses.
I have to be careful though, because even though they are here's one.
Oh, he's getting low. Yeah, he's that one now though.
Power shot.
Ooh, problems catching him out. Kill shot comes in. Yayo goes down. A nice little rotation there from the Wind Ranger. I don't think much punish is going to be happening in the bottom lane as well. Lifestealer not really going to be making any kills happen down here.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Darks actually overstayed his welcome there. Like, he goes to half HP from a combination. If Kunker was level 5 with X, then probably even dies in that combination, but he's not. And then he still proceeds to use Vacuum to try and threaten this. Yeah, very optimistic fights from Quantum in the off lane.
A bit of a tense start to this game. Both teams sort of respecting each other, playing around each other. None of these lanes have been particularly even either. You know, despite the kills up in the... I think top lanes actually, they're both getting pretty rich off this. Maybe that death onto Yayo brings him behind a little bit. TA2000 having a wonderful time this Kunkka. Which I'm excited to see. Most of these Kunkka carries have been pretty quiet for the early parts of the game from what I've seen, but TA2000 is definitely going to have a game.
Well, it's because of the support, right? Like, how often do you see SD Kunkka in a safe lane combination where every single disruption is setting up for a torrent and a Tidebringer, right? Like,
this is true.
Often against Kunkkas, you're trying to dodge the Tidebringer. You're not really utilizing torrent that well in the carry role. It's just kind of a spell available, but here it's just every time you step up, take a torrent to the face, take a level 2 disseminate, then have the bonus damage in place. It is a really, really aggressive lane, and it's kind of fun to see. It's maybe a combination that other teams might think about in the future, because you just can't step near the wave when these two heroes hit some early levels.
I'm a big fan of, I'm going to have to say it, Promulgate from the Shadow Demon. That facet is really, really nice just to work in combination with Disseminate. It gets you surprisingly low. Already a good spell. Just really giving you that extra bit of aggression. Again, move on to Shaman, and Shaman is absolutely going to drop here. Kira Jr. and problems. Up and out with that one as the pressure starting to mount here. Not really seeing a whole lot of counterplay coming out from the side of Quantum at the moment.
They just don't have counterplay, right? One of my concerns with the lineup was the fact that Tiny's the only kind of active hero on the map. Shaman, Jakiro, they play behind other heroes having success, and in Lifesteal, he needs to farm an entire Radiance. Darkseer wants to farm an entire Aura, right? They're not explosive side lane cores that run around the map. Compare that though to a Pangolier. At any minute, he's probably going to TP to an engagement if he sees it. And Kunkka, he's happy to, throw a boat in if required. So we'll see if this disparity in side lane cores will come to light as Solo.
Trying to force a fight, but it's a double damage available for the Ember Spirit, but he's still going to give the kill to Solo. But Kira Jr. will be able to get at least one in response and back himself away. A little bit steep there from the side of the Cyber Goose. Kunkka trying to grab him and just take in these stacks, and I'm not entirely convinced that they're going to have too many ways to really just stop them at least taking the hard camp here. I don't think they'll go for the Ancients. That feels like an overreach, and they will agree.
Yeah, I think the only time you take the Ancients is if the Pangolier comes above. But Shaman, he's TPing toppy. He identifies the fact that Kunkka would be by himself here. Surging in.
It would be a nice play. Let's see. Shackles out. They've got a nice path available as well. Damage will be enough, and they kill off TA2000. Very nice read. A tip for emptiness in the same time as well.
Yeah, it was a very, very good read there from the Shaman. That's the type of call that you need to make. Like, you have a split second to decide where you're moving on the map. You just had some pressure. You lost some stacks. If you don't kill the Kunkka, he is fully uncontested. So yeah, the emptiness. He knows what he needs to do to be able to keep himself in this game.
Absolutely is. Yeah, actually got a caught out surged here, so this actually could be a kill. In comes a Shackle. Oh, Torrent just about connects with the boat coming through as well, and it will be enough damage to bring down the Darkseer. Timo's getting a little bit too comfortable there in the enemy jungle. He does get punished. Good moves, good catch, and good timing with the Kunkka respawning as well, and immediately getting TA2000 back. When you die, you TP back in, you immediately get a kill. It's almost like you never died. He's back on top of the network.
Oh, some good opium logic. You know what? Yeah. I just wish every core player had this logic.
I die, I jungle.
Yeah. I go.
Talking about dying. Noticed it does get caught out on the bottom side. The rotation from Jakiro and the Tiny not read particularly well. Oh, nice Jackal coming out from problems though. That's going to get them the kill onto Jakiro and maybe onto the Tiny as well. Tiny on the run. Icarad going to have to toss back here and get infested, but that will keep him alive. Shouldn't be finding any more from this. Lucas even feels comfortable enough to continue sitting in the lane, continue farming up. Has still got himself a rage. Will be absolutely fine.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of damage control for Quantum.
He has rage. Let's just go.
Yeah, like
hero TP.
I've definitely learned to trust Lucas's read when he's sticking around. You kind of know that he's not really in too much trouble.
I kind of wanted him just to get disrupted. Yeah, I was like, my god, you're trying. Oh god. I think the proof of how good of a lifestealer game is kind of coming to light, right? The fact that he can just sit down here, he's not really scared of anything. I'm sure he's much lower net worth than Kunkka, but as a Kunkka that was getting kills in lane compared to a lifestealer that was just been clicking creeps.
And she was just very focused fired to death there. No solo win problems.
T8000 is going to have 13-minute radiance.
Yikes.
He is very farm.
There is always that Darkseer counterpoint though. Like, if you have a Radiance and we have a Radiance.
That's on the courier. So now the records for Kunkka Radiances are victim to his courier moving across the map.
Ooh, toss back onto the Chira Jr. and with the shackle as well. That was a very nice play. Cocky from Chira Jr. but a really, really nice catch from Emptiness and Aikenrad. Can't blink away from his shackles.
I love when Tiny gets to play with like any instant lockdown hero because it's a communication between the two players. When you hit toss, just have that spell pre-cast and it's gonna connect it. So, yeah. Of course, takes a little bit of synergy and coordination, but when done correctly, it is a treat to watch.
You also got to be good at clicking on the shaman as well. You know, click that mid-air guy. Good clicking ability this there. I'll say that.
We'll have the mage there complete, so magic resistance against the Tiny will be incredible for him to frontline. And the Pangolier just completed the Diffusal Blade. As we do look at all the items, there is some big ticket skirmishing items available for the Cyber Geese. Pangolier, Ember should be wanting to try and create some opportunities for their team now. So you don't buy these items to continue jungling. These are items to remind your opponent if you do find a time in the mid lane.
Oh, this is going to be a killer.
Haste Rune.
Oh, no, Haste Rune. They should get him out of here.
Everything should hit him.
Hey, I'm not trusting anything in this game. Been lied to too many times. The trust is broken.
It's dwindling.
I think it's after that game one, you know, I came into these qualifiers feeling like, you know, cocky, being like, I know what's going to happen. Game one, I've got whiplash. It's like a roller coaster. The team which should be winning is no longer winning, and yeah, it's made me very unsure of myself. Need to get some more confidence back.
Okay. To be fair, I think that's also kind of like solo kind of aura, right? Like most of the teams he's been on recently just haven't had the same success as like what his name presents. You could argue the same thing for like Puppy, right? Puppy's like the Western European version to Solo's, you know, Eastern in regards to like where the teams are playing. So they're both kind of the captains that are not doing too hot in the big picture of Dota at the moment. Until this quality. Okay.
They are going 3 games in their opening games against another open qualifier team. Well, you never know. You never know. But at the moment, this game number 3, I would say feels it's hard to call at the moment. It's very, very even. We need to see what they're gonna do on the side of the Cyber Geese with these, you know, as you say, brawling, big ticket items, Mage Slayer, Diffusal, Conker's hit the Radiance. You know, like let's see some action here, guys. Let's see some smokes. Let's see some impetus. But at the moment, there's just a big snake in the middle lane, and that's enough to take the tower. Second big snake, second big objective.
I think it really depends on the next 5 to 10 minutes of fight coming from Cyber Geese, but I think if it's as slow as we see right now, I am leaning towards Quantum being the favorites to dictate the game. Just because the net worth, the Darkseer, Lifestealer, and Tiny, even though it's very even, they're scaling together. Whilst the Ember and the Pangolier, the itemization that we mentioned, they're kind of like hoping for a fight to break out. And if it never breaks out to their advantage, they might just be lost on net worth. So we'll see.
So I'm going to just fight a Midas and a Radiance, and they're going to try and fight with this. They've already lost emptiness. They're just going to try and jump solo on the backlines, and he should die to this. Notice though, rolling around, not really too bothered. It's taking a bit of time for the Cyber Geese to get their team in position to take this fight though. And I'm not sure they're really down for it. TP out from the Ember Spirit. Toss back though is going to make sure this Pangolier is most certainly going to hold. Never mind. It's dead. They will kill him off eventually. Yayo gets it in
You gotta
the
commit,
end.
boss. You gotta commit.
I know. We need to stop this. I was ready to commit, and then it looked like it was going to live, but he won.
But you didn't used to do this. This is like I told you,
I'm
in the last like
man.
month. I know. In the last like month, we started to second guess ourselves. Just commit. If you don't die, wow,
He's dead 100%.
Yeah. Well, maybe just don't speak with definitives.
That's what we've been doing. Well, getting jumped here. He's got that ultimate upon him. It's going to make it very difficult to get out. Mary and Lucas coming in. Infest not available though. That's it. Under a tier 1. Oh, still alive for now as Lucas jumps in onto the Ember Spirit and they catch him out. Overextending, and this is how Quantum will win this game. Okay, they just need to take every little fight they can. Don't force the big 5-on-5s. Just punish any little small mistake which they make. And just take the momentum away from Cyber Goose.
It's working out really well for them. Wait for the opportunities to present themselves. You know that the Cyber Geese want to cross the river to find an engagement, and when it comes, be ready. And yeah, Lucas having a pretty stellar game at the moment. 1-0-3, and Ankrad on the tiny 4-0-2. He goes for the Midas post blink, but I'm not opposed to that. Like, this is not a game where he's breaking them out, finding kills. He respects that his team is not ready to match his pacing. So scale up yourself. Sure, be present in the fight, but also be ready to farm. He goes to the boots of travel. Like
he's getting very greedy here, going for this wave. He's just his BKB just arrived, and he's not going to get a chance to get it up. He's gone. Oh no, that is a really, really impactful kill coming out from Quantum here. One which is going to change the momentum of this game. They just picked up that BKB. They wanted to play, they wanted to do something, and now they've got a tier 2 tower with a big snake on it, and Sole with a big lifestealer on him. He's going to get killed off here for sure. As the snake gets to work on this tower. And look at this, it's tower versus snake, and the tower is not winning.
The critical thing to note with the second ward is your DPS will always be the same, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's also really big. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
No worries.
Look how empty this is pinging the tower. Like, hey guys, look how much the snake's doing.
Here's a lot of
He's so
damage.
happy with himself. As he should be. I mean, standout player so far in this game. Emptiness for sure in my books.
Yeah, the read to kill the Kunkka top to utilize the surge on the dark so multiple times to find other pickoffs. It's they have done
any toss back play onto the Ember to really shut his game down. Like, he's been responsible for pretty much every major play they've made in this game, and it's those small but impactful plays which have gotten them into this position where they're now 4k up. They've got Radiance and Midas on their side and winning pretty much every fight. It is time to see some life coming out from the Cyber Geese, but what can they do? Notice gonna try to start this one off, but not really finding an opportunity. They'll go for it now. Gets off the Rolling Thunder. A little late on the ice path there. Will this set them up for a fight though? The Iconite just waiting on the sidelines, looking for an opportunity. He sees it onto Solo, but doesn't really follow up very well. And what a huge disruption coming out from Solo, saving him for so much damage here. But Lucas, he wants it. He wants to kill off that Shadow Demon, but he's not going to be able to do so. And his rage is getting kind of low. Could this be the awkward fight with a shackle like that? It very well might be. Lucas is going to be the target. Tier 2000, pops the BKB, getting onto the life tier, trying to bring him down. Lucas getting so very low, but they'll need it a little bit more and they'll find it. The life stealer goes down. Jakiro buying back into this one as Emptiness trying to cower under his snake, but it's not going to do enough here. It will get that kill, but Iconite still looking for an opportunity. Lovely little toss back, but disruption from Solo stops the damage coming through and allows TA 2000 problems to survive. What a play from the old man. He's still got them fingers as now. Well, they'll keep it going here. Notice got to be a little careful, but They don't need to be. Eichenrad turns around, throws a catapult their way, but Jira Jr. trying to finish off Eichenrad here. Can't quite do it. They're really trying to just play around this Serpent Ward, and honestly, it's kind of working, but the power strategy catching out Eichenrad there. Lovely, lovely stuff there from Problems. Trying to find another.
Mary's hiding.
Finding Mary. Oh, yes, they will. Of course they will. They are not hiding in that pit forever. Bye-bye, Jakiro. It will be a victorious fight for this side of the Cyber Goose at last.
That was a dieback from the Jakiro as well. And Quantum, what a way to start a fight, right? It's, you see Solo, you try to commit on him, but then there's a disrupt, then there's the boat buff, your life stealer, a hero that we've been praising, a player that we've been praising, he overextends. It's a Radiance life stealer trying to kill off a rum buffed, you know, SD, who also has an Essence ring, so it's extremely tanky. And the fact that you've not put all your spells together. The Tiny also tossed in his Jakiro, by the way, killing him off at the start of the fight. So it's like, your Tiny killed your Jakiro, the Lifestealer committed on an SD that he can't kill, they're not playing near the wall. It unfortunately just was not a good fight for Quantum. They were playing so well, kind of in the last 5 to 6 minutes, but that fight, it hurt them a lot. The kiting from Cybergeese was exceptional, and it all started with Pangolier committing to the early part of the fight, and then just forcing out some critical spells to then enable the rest of his team to kind of follow up on top. So yeah, good fight from Cybergeese, but still for Quantum, they have the damage, they have the way to fight, just was not clean in any way. The Shaman with the Blink Dagger, at any minute a hero can die. So both teams still need to be very careful. This wasn't a team fight that, you know, gives the momentum the way of Cybergeese. It really is still an even game.
They've got the confidence now to take fights. They've got a few more tools in their inventory as well. And critically, TA2000 had a good fight as well, which I think they're going to need to get him on board, keep him fighting. Sanjan Yasha and BKB now for TA2000. So his goal is very clear. Get in the fights and just be sticky. Stay in the fight. Stay on a hero. Here we go, moving up to the top lane, but the only hero up here at the moment is Jakiro, who is heading through the portal, but if they head through the portal themselves, they will be finding a whole bunch of Radiant heroes, I say, as they all TP away to the middle lane to make a smoke of their own. So just Tormentor time.
Actually a really nice change to the game, moving Tormentor to 20 minutes. It's like 20 minutes is like awkward enough of a time where you don't want to rush towards it instantly because there's other things to do on the map. Maybe there's a Roshan, maybe there's a, you know, just something just critical to do. So it kind of alleviates the pressure of we must be here. And yeah, you see, something they go for Roshan.
This is a trade we always see being made as well. One team does Tormentor, the other team runs into Roshan. It's very awkward to contest because they're on opposite sides of the map as well. So very often a very good play. Power Shot's going to reveal it, but it's way too late. Roshan's already dead. Aegis into the hands or claws or whatever he has of Lucas.
Into the jaws.
Into the jaws. That's a nice one.
Yeah,
definitely
really
has
large
those.
mouth on Lifestealer, so
Many teeth. Don't go look at Lifestealer's model if you have Bontrophobia. Which is that fear of like many things clustered together.
the day I learned. That's how I kind of customize all my Dota heroes. I make sure all the cosmetics overlap in really bad ways.
Yeah, trigger as many phobias as possible to win the mental game. And 14. This is the qualifier game 3 you're looking for, folks. Aegis up on Lucas. They're only a little bit of gold behind. TA2000's an absolute monster on this Conquer. Interesting they choose to go for Satanic. So yet another survivability item. TA2000 just wants to live.
And the longer he lives, it does enable for multiple rounds of swashbuckles with diffusal burn. It's then the additional slight chains on a hero, you know, get through that rage. Kind of feels like Lucas is on the path to maybe get AC, Basher, then a BKB. Might even need the BKB for the Basher, but debuff immunity. If he can just have as much as possible. And We'll give him plenty of time to right click. So we'll see how they want to go with that one. A bit of a wraparound. Quantum going down the serpent ward, taking the tier 2. Cyber Geese.
Big snake.
They know that Lucas has the Aegis, but they're still posturing for the fight. They think they can take him.
I mean,
really
it's all about kiting the life stealer. That doesn't change whether you have an Aegis or not. They're just going to try and go in the backline. It's a great time because they bring him down in time. But with Lucas jumping in on this one and using the Infest, Ice Rider's going to be fine for now. But Notice getting so much done with that Rolling Thunder. But great chicken coming out from the Shaman, holding down Notice. That's not really making much of a difference. They're still just running in on this fight. And they've taken down the Tiny. Now they'll go towards Yayo as well. But Artemo's on the run, trailing 3 heroes behind him though. The 3 cores come crashing down onto the Darkseer. And they will take his head. Noticed gets the kill, and they do take the fight into the Aegis. Perfect read from the Cyber Geese.
Not only that, but it's just utilizing their toolkit to perfection, right? The Invis rune on the Pangolier to scout out the start of the fight. Even if they were to jump the Pangolier, you're going to probably get Rolling Thunder off. And when you get that Rolling Thunder off, you're going to get to the Shaman, to the Jakiro. The Tiny doesn't... I mean, he had a BKB, I think, just arrived, but still not available for the fight.
Still here on emptiness in the middle lane as well.
The Shaman's dead.
Yeah, just so to get a cheeky push.
The only hero that likes to stand his ground in this entire game is the Lifestealer, right, for Quantum. You could argue maybe the Darkseer because he has the auras, but like the supports, when the fight breaks, if they're not like behind a tree, under the cover of their own vision, they will just disappear. There's power shots, there's swashbuckles, there's slights, there's tidebringers, rolling thunders, there's plenty of spells for the supports to feel despair, and that kind of feels like the story of every big fight that we see. The supports on Quantum cannot stand their ground. They disappear, and then Lifestealer's somewhat on an island. It feels like Quantum, they need to find a way to make the jump themselves. They need to, you know, initiate the fight. Lifestealer looking to go for the Abyssal Blade, which will give him kill threat. Potentially the argument would be BKB before Basher. Sure, he might live, but we just saw him living doesn't really matter, right? He just gets ignored. You buy a Basher or an Abyssal Blade, you can't ignore this guy anymore because he will be on top of you. You know, I do like the fact that he is actually opting for the aggressive item first.
You need to find some sort of kill threat in this game. Unfortunately, Iconrad can't really do it. These supports, they're just staying alive. Solo is not getting killed off often here, but maybe this will be the moment. Close the gap onto him, have a toss, damage, should be enough. Was enough, who knew? I like tier 2000 just farming the triangle nearby, like, oh, cool. Barely even blinks. We'll back away now, noticing that Quantum are grabbing heroes and heading down the bottom side. Where's my big snake? My big snake's not in position. Does this not needed?
Interesting. Mary's not opting to use his neutral item yet. I'm sure he should select that soon. He has GPM available, especially after he died back and his game's pretty rough. He's currently opting to hold the Tumbler Toy in the cast range. Yeah. I kind of feel like in this position, you go, you know what? If you really want the Tumbler Toy, you just go Tumbler Toy plus GPM. You get to your Solar Crest, you get to another item, the game becomes like playable again for you. But he's opting for, I want to be as far away as possible. I need this cast range with him. Yeah. I've yet to see a support opt for cast range over GPM. So.
It's a choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just can't stand having that hammer there glowing in the corner the entire day. I could never.
It's pretty annoying, yeah.
It's like
core players, they're very quick to change.
Where it's like a little lower down. This one's like in your field of view the whole time. You can't ignore it.
Yeah. I wish there was an option for like just ignore, like a button on top of the options, like a little, like I understand that I can do this, but I don't want it. I don't want to skip it because of course I might take it later on, but
just stop glowing a bit. Chill out.
Just a bit.
Woke up.
Jakiro would do negative damage though, it would be pretty funny. Minus 60 damage, he's already on what? Yeah, he would actually, he wouldn't do any damage.
I kind of want to see that.
He has what?
Oh,
he
wait,
does
no, yeah, you're
47.
right. Yeah,
He'll do minus 13 damage. I mean, his right click. He is not right clicking in the fights, to be clear. It doesn't matter, right? Especially because he's got like the icebreaker, like. But
he just doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to have 0 right click damage. Like it's like I don't want that. He can't bring himself to click that GPM bonus. He just.
I'll keep you updated if he does. Don't worry. He is missing out on valuable gold right now. I'm yet to see him use this cast range. He could have had a. We've been talking about it for 2 minutes at least. That's 200 gold missed.
Absolutely. I can't believe that. That's crazy.
Oh, MKB. Oh, he doesn't even go for bash. Okay.
Yeah. Wants to click.
Needs to eat that kunka. We'll see if he can do it.
Okay.
Smoked up. Instant. Get the MKB. Get the smoke.
Oh, they see Chiro Jr. though. Chiro Jr. is going to know that something's off, but he's not immediately reacting. He's got a shielder and a BKB, so if they go on this guy, they might be a little bit uncomfortable. I'm talking about uncomfortable. This initiation's getting pretty weird. Notice moving through the fights and finding Iconrad. Iconrad is just kind of been caught out here. He's popped the BKB, but will it be enough to keep him alive? Wall comes out as well. Iconrad can back himself out of this one, so instead, the Tomo takes towards Gale. Pantima does have the Lifestealer inside of him. He comes popping on out, but Lucas doesn't really have a target. Now moving. Oh, that's a nice shackle from the Shaman from the sidelines, and it'll allow them to care of Chiro Jr. Finally, the fight breaks as Quantum find themselves an opportunity. They will look forward, but tier 2000 BKB TP away, solo disruption TP away, but no, once again, Emptiness is in range and does find the kill. Keen-eyed on the Gale Guard with an Aether Lens, giving him a ridiculous amount of range on these shackles and allowing him to step up once again for Quantum.
Quantum, they're getting tanky enough that they can actually withstand the initiation, right? The Darkseid gets jumped, and he has BKB, he disengages. The Tiny gets jumped, he BKB, he disengages, right? The Lifestealer, all he has to do, press rage, walk away. The fact that the supports weren't the ones getting targeted, the Shaman, the Jakira, they hold their ground, hide behind the tree line, the clutch shackle and an Ember to get the kill, in the chase down, right? When there's no boat, there's no roll. Most of the team fight has disappeared. So I think at Quantum, they read that fight really nicely. They just disengage. They don't overcommit at the start. And they even get the win on a kill much later after. So, yeah. If Quantum can continue playing like this, then it does feel like the game should be going their way, right? It's how does the Cyber Geese get a kill if they aren't just perfectly getting like what is their damage realistically? The team fight, it's like a rolling thunder and that's it. Like when BKBs are in play, they don't lock down heroes. There's no instant way to do the damage. Maybe like Kunkka needs a Daedalus plus the Pangolier, and then you get this like epic stun into Tidebringer hit, and it's enough to make the fight go their way. But they are smoked up. As for Tormentor falls to Quantum, can they find the initiation? Can they find a jump that enables them to feel confident? Because if Quantum are in position, they have everything back up. The BKBs, they're ready to go again. And Jakiro is still yet to take his sword item.
And jumps here a little bit, but the Macropire comes down, and that's right on the choke point, which is going to make fighting here sort of impossible. So, not able to get that ward to get that kill. Still completely seen that. Ooh, Avalanche doesn't quite connect onto Noticed. He gets himself back. They do not have another smoke available. What they do have is an Aghanim Scepter on solo. Demonic Purge is going to be available.
Break, it's going to be quite nice, right? To annoy the Lifestealer, take away some of his attack speed, or a lot of his attack speed. I'm still bewildered that Jakiro is rocking the cast range over the GPM.
Yeah, that is insane. That's certifiably insane. Mary, there's a little plan. It involves nice long ice paths.
He's yet to hit one though, I'll be honest. The last couple of fights he has missed it, so
he needs longer. He needs an Aether lens. Oh, big snake! Dropped in the bottom lane.
And a catapult.
In fairness, this is sort of like a bait snake. You go through the snake, then you will just have a time limit. Damn, BKB. Can he kill it inside a BKB duration? That was the question. Not before the tower goes down.
It's like the new version of the Nature's Prophet Treant from last patch, right? It's now the Shaman Snake. It's the obnoxious thing that hits your building.
Yeah.
And can you really hit it?
This one has 110 second cooldown rather than 15, you know?
True. You know what? I see your argument and I concede. How broken the shot would be if you just large circle one.
Just spamming the map with them.
Wait, now he takes the GPM? Oh my, you're Mary boss man, you've been holding.
I'm telling you, he didn't want to hit for 0. Now he's hitting for 20. He's like, okay, cool. I still got a little bit of room.
Brother, he's not right clicked anything. I can't even remember how many minutes I've been yapping about this, but
doesn't matter. Okay, it's a status thing. You don't want to be hitting for minus damage. Okay, nobody wants that. It doesn't matter who you are.
It's been since what? Yeah, like 12 minutes maybe. Okay, let's say 10 minutes to be fair.
He'd have changed to make him take GPM now.
Nothing. Nothing has changed. He'd have 2,500 gold minimum here. He'd have Ghost Scepter and a hearty buyback. I am disgruntled, to say the least. Wait, it doesn't matter. They're smoked up. Oh, Exodus with the life stealer inside of him. Can he find a big kill?
Problems to be a really good catch here, and that's exactly who's going to find. Does get off the wind run, but it doesn't matter. The MKD's there, and Lucas will get the kill. Buyback immediately coming out from the wind ranger, though, so she is going to be back on this one. And it looks like they should be losing emptiness, so they're running around with the chicken and blinks himself away. Where the hell did that shaman go? They don't know. He wanted so badly, but the Betty, they're running in, they're going to get ice off down. Lucas on top of Jittery Jr. and even the shackle coming out from emptiness. Still healed again, greater healing load. There's no way it comes the best. They are not letting a shaman die. Notice goes down instead. Tier 2000 trying to stand his ground here, but without a team behind him, there is no chance he can hold this. And a shackle coming out once again. Emptiness surely will fall here, and he will die. Buyback immediately. He wants to come back in and help out his team, because this is looking like an excellent fight for the side of Quantum here. Algemrat goes for the toss back, and once again that iPod, he just brought back into the game. Cheering Junior, what are you doing? They're falling apart. Quantum onto the high ground, looking to put an end to these barracks. Lucas will not be deterred. And a snake drop down on the bottom side as well. Big snake on the bottom barracks. Oh no, what have you done, Cyber? They're not holding this one together at all, Tigo.
Another time to go fishing, you got solo. What exceptional teamwork from Quantum. Like the fact that the shaman, under the cover of foul play, gets to blink out, but then there's a Grease, then there's a Infest, and everything possible, every little option of heal, sustain was thrown into the shaman, baiting Cyber Geese deeper into a fight and finally jumps.
No, Solo, he just buys back and immediately gets thrown back in again. Lotus is able to get off the rolling thunder, but Lucas is just camping Solo's disruption, and will kill him the moment comes back in. Problems has to back himself away. You cannot stand your ground versus life stealer, but nice shackle might be turning this around here. No, it is not. Tier 2000 cannot get off these hits. He needs to attack people. He needs to get off some clicks here, but Notice does get shackled again. Emptiness cannot be stopped. The barracks are going to fall with 3 heroes dead. Still 20 seconds left on Chiro Jr. It is mega creeps now for Quantum, and Lucas, he's not done. Good lord, how they've fallen apart. The diebacks have just been absolutely outrageous.
One bad fight and your mega creeps. Simple as that. Shaman though, easily the MVP of this game. A shadow of a doubt.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
every
Rapier on tier 2000. BKB comes out. He needs to start clicking and needs to hit something important. Lucas, he doesn't care. Sitting on the front lines, just doing whatever. Big Snake coming down, taking down the throne as well. I'm not entirely sure they can stop this Snake from just winning the game for them. You can fight all you like, but your throne's in trouble. Ain't gonna be coming in. I mean, it's done. It's over. They can't stop the Snake. You can Rapier the heroes, but you can't Rapier the Snake. And GT comes out. What a game from Quantum. What a game from Emptiness. This guy who we just haven't really seen that